it entails an amendment of the Odisha Panchayat Act. So the policy, you can see the document. The policy talks that the Odisha Panchayat Act should be amended so that discriminatory practices against women are removed. So these are, acknowledging that there is certain existing practices which are obviously not conducive if we are talking about development or empowerment of women. And so this was the kind of consultations that were held, and obviously the finale was with the Chief Minister and then with the cabinet approval. And another very important thing, we also debated a lot of whether to put it. There is one section on a situation analysis of the women of Odisha. There are a lot of things, a lot of gaps which has been reflected and put on record, sourcing authentic sources of data. Because to acknowledge that in Odisha the urban child sex ratio is declining very rapidly. There is prevalence of child marriage in the state. There is regional variation and social group variation of female literacy rate. It has been acknowledged in the document. You may have a look at it. So I think it is very grounded. We didn't want to have something very honky-dory saying everything is very nice and so it was a struggle. Let me tell you that it was a struggle to put those documents and to put those lines, and in the end we have managed to put in a section on the situational analysis of the status of girls and women of Odisha, acknowledging that there is a gender gap or a gender disparity in malnutrition, acknowledging that there is a high female IMR rather than a male IMR. So this was important for the group that was working, and also in this context the lead and secretary of the Women and Child Development Department, Aarti Ahuja, who took on the leadership and saying that let us put it on record. It is there. We are not quoting data out of the sun or the moon. It is there. So so the authentic sources of data do point out these nuances of disparity. So let us put it on record and then we go forward. So this was important for us to acknowledge that what are the gaps. And then the evolution of the focus areas. The policy talks about 7 focus areas, because we thought that it should be based on a life cycle approach, starting from survival of pre-birth to the end of livelihood and things like that. So in the strategies, some of the strategies which has been incorporated in the focus areas. I thought I was just beginning. Okay, I'll write up. The 7 focus areas are survival, health and nutrition, education, livelihood, both formal and informal, asset ownership, decision making and political participation, safety, security and protection, and there is one section on girls and women with special needs. The idea of putting in the last section was that to integrate or recognize that there is a plurality of women's needs. It is not homogeneous. It is not a very generic need. So we have tried to put in single women, women with disability, traffic survivors, and many other kind of women who are obviously a part and parcel of these 6 categories of focus areas. But